Hello, guys. So, about my school assistant teacher job, I just had another change this week, and so instead of working with four second grade and third grade classes, like two second grade, two third grade, I'll be working with only two classes. And I'm also a bit sad because I've been trying to stay in contact with one of my friends who is in jail, and I haven't gotten a reply from him, which is not unnormal. Like, sometimes there's lockdowns, sometimes there's broken tablets, and I understand that people just don't talk. But it is like, makes me sad. It's upsetting that I can't talk to him, but it's okay because when he gets out next year, I'll be like, hey, what's up? And hopefully we'll stay friends. So next, as I was saying with my teaching job, it's just been sad because today there was another fight in second grade, and this boy who's usually, I thought he was a good kid, and he's just started fighting this girl and throwing up the middle finger and saying the B word, saying HE double hockey sticks, saying other words that are bad. And then he was fighting her in line and saying motherfucker and stuff like that. And I honestly don't like that happened. And then another student, he got his arm stepped on by one of these mean girls in the class, and nothing happened. Like, usually if you have a scar on a child, like a big boo-boo, you're gonna make a, what's it called, you're gonna make a log of it, like, hey, there was an accident, this student was injured on their arm, it happened at school, this was the time it happened, and it's logged in like the system to keep a record. And then when fights happen, that should be logged in the system and we have a record of it. And there should be like a child getting switched to another class because two kids can't get along. And I just couldn't do anything to this boy. And even if I wanted to do something, he's not going to listen to me. And that's what I mean. Like, these kids, they don't really listen. They get in fights for no reason just because they're bored. And the most I should do is call their parents. And I can't do that because I'm just a teaching assistant and I can't tell the teacher to do it because that's her own volition. Like, that's her own decision to say, this is serious. I'm going to call a parent. And she's already focusing on this other student and doing like a parent conference for this one student in her class. But point is, there isn't a lot I can do when there's a bad student in a class. And I just don't like that. Like, it doesn't sit well with me that students can just be like horrible people. Like, not just a horrible kid, but like a horrible person, and then they stay in class. And I just feel like it should be different. But that's what discourages me, especially the concept of rewards, because I feel like the reward is you listen and you learn. Like, I shouldn't have to give out candy and dollars and pencils and stuff like that as a reward. I'm sorry. Because the rewards are gonna end when you get to middle school and high school, and it's cute. I know how people do, they give them rewards in the beginning, then take it away. I don't want to do that because I feel like that's manipulative, and yeah, I don't really think that's good. And it's like a way of tricking people into working on something they don't want to work on. And some kids, they just don't like school. They're not going to pay attention. And I feel like if they don't want to be in school, we shouldn't force them to be in school. And if they're going to be disruptive, then we definitely should not force them to be in school. Like, school is not that great. And if they want to learn ABCs, they'll just learn it on their own time. And they'll take what we gave them and run with it. Like, I just have that relaxed idea of school. Like, this is not that important. This is not worth mental health. These kids come from broken homes, and then we're trying to tell them to focus when their mind is just not focused. And I understand that, and I feel like, okay, take a step back, don't go to school today. And then we say, oh, you have to be on time, oh, you can't be late, oh, you have to stay in class, you can't take any bathroom breaks. And little things like that. It's just like, honestly, kids need their own break time on their own terms. And that's what we see when people are in college and it works, but we want them to just know how to sit in a chair all day and walk in a straight line. And there's a lot of problems with the school system as it is. And I just think it's unnecessary. And a lot of these kids, as much as I can say they don't benefit from not being in school, some kids do benefit from having time to themselves and not being in school. And I just feel like it's okay. It's okay to say I'm not good at school. And it's okay to say, hey, this kid is too disruptive and they can't be in my class. This kid is bullying other children. Don't put him in school. Like, I just feel like if you're hitting another student, that is very serious. And I just don't like that kid anymore. I really don't. I don't like people who hurt others. And I don't care if they're a child or not. Like, they should not be in my class. But again, it's just like teachers kind of have this idea that kids are supposed to be bad. And then if they're bad, they're supposed to stay in the class, and then the teacher has to deal with them by yelling at them. But I just feel like that's not my job. Like, my job is not to make kids learn. Honestly, the principal should have thought about that. And the principal or whoever is over the school should think about the students they're putting in these classes, and think about the teachers that have to teach them, and think about, I want my employee to have a safe environment, and I want my students to have a safe environment, and that would mean certain kids cannot stay at the school. And that happens in every teacher movie. For example, the one with Morgan Freeman, or the one with maybe it was Denzel Washington. Either way, in a lot of these teacher movies, there's some kids who have to stay behind. Okay? There's some kids who just can't hang with the other kids because they're not in the right mindset. And then this class succeeds without them. And that's how it is. And I just think if you don't do that, that's why teachers quit. And if you don't do that, that's why students are going to keep failing, because you have kids in class who are bullying them. And that's all I got to say. And I just feel like it's not my job to deal with students that are bad and mean and very disrespectful. And the principal should do their job by making the classroom a safe place for everyone, because this is ridiculous.